Hello, I'm Alfonso Severos from Second Saturday. Right now you are watching Women Are Talking TV.
You are watching Women Are Talking, and I am your host, Billy Martin. We have to my right Damon Moore, Looney Jules, and Victor Arnez. Today is nothing funny and humorous about this conversation because it's pretty personal. I would like a question to be answered, and I'm sure you do too if you're watching this. I'm hoping that the men on this panel today will be able to shine some light on this serious issue that African American women across this country, across this world is pretty much dealing with. Okay, so we're going to start off. Shine some light on this issue. It's an issue that you're aware of. I would like your voice because I never came across any platform anywhere else where you're able to voice one. I'm dealing with having to come across men who are DL, who are not sharing their lifestyle. Honestly, they are keeping it secret. They're pretty much hiding it. They're not being honest. It's affecting me because I am not being told that you may prefer, other men, and yet I'm walking around with issues at hand because of your dishonesty. I would like to know what you as a heterosexual black man feel about it, because I don't know what you think about it. I don't know how you feel about it, and no one is sharing that. So I would like to know, because it's affecting me, being able to pursue a man and not feel uncomfortable asking him, do you have an alternative lifestyle that you prefer? Because it seems to be an issue that becomes it's a problem. It's a problem. So if you can shine some light, how do you feel about this? Do you feel it's affecting your community? Do you feel that it's something that we should talk about and address, and how so? I'm sure there's barbershop talk, but I would like to open that floor here to discuss it.
Well, for me, Billy, it's not just someone being dishonest. For me, I'm against dishonesty, and that's just a hit that black males just can't take now. Just being dishonest, if it's not the media, it's our own doing that we paint this picture that we're not to be trusted. But on top of that, I think it's just a part of someone not being fair. I think it's very easy for people to hang things up to say, I don't want to judge you, and I was honest about it. It's not so much as just being honest. I think you have to be fair about the situation, and fair to me comes with you not just disclosing with someone else, but disclose it yourself. A lot of this comes from, I think, a lot of brothers out here, they afraid to come out of the closet, or they somewhat confused. And the barbershops and all these other places, they don't make that an easy situation for anybody. Because if you are a man that sleeps with a man, most men are gonna look at you less than a man. And that becomes a problem if you wanna still be a part of this community. And I think we face so many social ills. Anytime that we could be transparent in our dealings with one another, we should take that opportunity to show our greatness.
I was reading a report that said that the majority of black women, first of all, AIDS is really increasing in the community of black women, and the number one reason is sleeping with men who sleep with other men.
That's right.
Black men also are getting AIDS at unbelievable rates, and the first reason is because they sleep with men. How it's affecting me? It affects me in the sense of, if I want to have a relationship with a woman, if I'm talking to someone, you want their trust, you want to be able to trust. This is another thing now that might put a roadblock in that trust. I mean, I have to think for me to have to worry about a woman wondering whether or not I'm going to be with another man or something like that. To me, that's really disturbing to me. That didn't happen before, I believe, because of the stereotypes that people used to use with people who were gay. They felt that a gay man could be like, yeah, man, this man can't possibly be gay. Mm-hmm. But now we're down low. Yeah, well, I'm not gay, but I'm a man who likes men. Mm-hmm. I'm a man who sleeps with men. Mm. I work with a minister from the Presbyterian church. No, I'm sorry, Presbyterians. Episcopalian church. And he used to counsel rappers who felt very bad about, they didn't know what to do with their experience of having a sexual relationship with other men. It's we hard rapping, you know. But he would counsel them, and these categories: men who sleep with men who prefer men, gay, bisexual, and they had a whole list of things they could use to rationalize. Then I think that this thing of dishonesty is actually destroying our community, because the people that can be helped by it are those who are hiding. You have people who've been in jail, and in jail they...
That's a whole new world.
Exactly, and let's say they had some experiences there, whether it was rape or voluntary or whatever, and they come out, how do you deal with that? I heard that in prison that the guards are culpable. They allow things to happen. They even set up things to happen. This is something that could be stopped, but no one's doing anything about it. And so men have to come and find some kind of rationale, some kind of way of dealing with it. And just like with women who are raped, they might want to put it out of their mind and not think about it and just go live a normal life. Men might want to do that also. We're human, right? And then they don't let the other person know that they've had this relationship or been raped or whatever, and passing on disease. So it's basically a thing of dishonesty, and it affects me because it affects my relationship, my ability to really to be with someone. It's another block I have to clear out to let them know that you can trust me, I'm real, I'm there. You know, it's just another block. So it's a bother. It's a big bother.
But traditionally, men are taught, aren't taught to be emotional or to express their feelings or tell how they feel. So you have someone who's been in jail, who's been raped, or maybe it was voluntary because of what, I've been here a long time and have needs. We all have needs. So how do you bring that to the forum?
What?
I don't know about them type of needs, but I'm just saying.
It's primal.
Right. Yeah, it is.
But I'll let you speak, but I just want to say that how do you deal with it? If you're telling, okay, let's say traditionally in the Black community, they say, if you're depressed, just, don't get help, but just, read a good book or go to sleep or talk to humanists or whatever. You should get professional help if you're feeling depressed, or, if you've been raped, you should get talk to somebody. But if you're a male, you're not taught that. I don't know if I'm reaching.
You're saying as a male, you're not taught to express your
yourself.
feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're not taught that and you're holding that in, and then you take that into your relationship, or if I, as a woman, ask, are you into men? Are you, have you ever had that desire? Have you ever done it? And it's like, oh, I get mad, but maybe they are, or you get that feeling. And would you feel offended if someone asked you that? And why?
And why?
Why?
Yeah.
I'm offended.
Because
You would get
if we have
offended?
so much
Why?
Offended immediately.
Why?
I'm offended. First of all,
Well, I'm not saying why, like that's why because there's something wrong. It's why because I need to know why because of what's going on.
Okay.
So
how do we know if we can't ask you?
Okay.
Right.
Most times, we believe that questions give us answers. Only time gives us answers. Your approach to a situation. If someone asks me, and this has happened, have you ever, are you gay? Have you ever slept with a man? And I go, why did you ask that question? Oh, because of the diseases that are in the world. Diseases are another stereotype now, because now you make it a gay disease. What you should have asked me, have I ever had unprotected sex? What if I never slept with a man, but I slept with a goat? Was that okay? Right? So it's a reality that you're trying to make a false reality. You trying to make a false reality. As a Black man that I went to prison when I was 19 years old for 10 years, from 19 to 29. Wow. And I'll disclose, I had no homosexual experiences in prison. It just didn't happen. The first 12 years of my life, I had sex with myself. So you go to prison, you have sex with yourself, you play with yourself, you do things like that. So it's another stereotype. So on top of that, it's another issue for somebody to ask me. When they ask me, have you ever slept with a man? The first thing I think about is the stereotype in prison. Not her experiences, I'm like, what are you doing to me? Like, you made me, it's as simple as I'm working a job and I have a master's degree and something is missing. If no one knows that I was in prison, someone is just missing something in the office. As soon as they find out I was in prison, I'm the guy that took the pocketbook. I didn't go to jail for taking pocketbooks or wallets. So these are the things that men have to deal with anyway, and especially a man that's coming from prison. I went to color. And of color. So the issue, once again, when I hear down low, I'm thinking dishonest. Not men who sleep with men. Men who sleep with men, they tell you that.
Right.
You're talking about down low, somebody who's down low doing something without telling anybody else what's happening. And because of that, forget the diseases, the other implications in that. Because we all come to the table with insecurities. So now you have a young lady that's dealing with somebody thinking that something is wrong with her, and this person is just not into you. The thing that he wants is not, you understand? He can't disclose that because of these stereotypes that's put on that. So it's just about being dishonest. It's not about being a homosexual or anything like that. Morally, being wrong to say I wasn't honest about it. Not a moral thing in your sexuality, but the moral thing about doing things as a man, meaning that whatever you do is gonna come out. And you do the right thing even when nobody's watching. That's telling the truth. That's not about finding a woman to sleep with or a man to sleep with. It's about what do you do, where's your moral fiber at? And we lose that touch when we start saying things like, oh, only God can judge me and I can judge no one. So there's no standard anywhere. So now when someone is being dishonest and another man knows it, how can he say something to him if we live in a community where we don't judge each other? We don't hold each other to a standard.
Or accountable.
So accountability, that's what needs to be addressed. The accountability of the act. Not so much you sleeping with a man, because that is people that sleep with men. But it's just like somebody cheating on you.
That's true.
Why would you ask somebody? You ask somebody, are you cheating on them? You don't ask them, are you sleeping with a man? It didn't make it worse.
I'm sorry. Let me chime in here. No. That specific question about sleeping with a man, I think is pertinent because whether it's AIDS involved or not, the thing that I dislike is that, first of all, so far as my sexuality is concerned, I'm comfortable with it. I could have been gay. If I had been born gay, I think I would have been a flamer. I'm just flamboyant, you know. And I'll say, I don't care who don't like it. Hey, that's it.
Yeah.
But I love women, right? And I want a woman to know that I love women, appreciate a woman. And then if I'm here, I want this woman to understand that I appreciate her as a woman. And then she's going to come and ask me if I had sex with a man. To me, that just does something to me. I want a person to know who I am, not to have doubt and questioning and all that stuff. We're not talking about diseases or anything right now. You know, the thing between a man and a woman, to me, I understand that it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and I want that trust. I want that, you see? What you said about you can go out and the man that wants this love between a woman could go out there and have like 18 other women, right? That dishonest thing is there. So I agree with you. It's a thing about dishonesty. That's gross, that's terrible. You should not be dishonest, but let's be real. This society, this world we live in promotes dishonesty. It lets dishonesty go, you know. So the only reason that we're talking about dishonesty with the down low thing is because of the AIDS thing. It's people's lives actually being taken. It's that serious. So that's why that's being focused on right now. And it's not to isolate or blame or anybody. There are people out there that are hurting that don't know what to do psychologically with, you know, wait a minute now. I love this woman, but I love this man. And I don't know what to do. Our community don't embrace people like that to say, well, let's talk about this. Because it can't be one of those numbers. That's not right either. The bottom line, though, I think, is that the spread of AIDS is the first line of attack. People are dying because of men having sex with men, whether they say they're homosexuals or men sleeping with men or what. That's happening. And so that's something that really needs to be addressed. The other thing that needs to be addressed is that there are people who are victims of circumstances and they don't know what to do with this ambiguity, this dualism that they have. They don't know. So these things have to be addressed, and it won't be addressed until we have a freedom to talk about it in our neighborhoods and to at least say, look, this dishonesty thing, let's cut this crap out right now because it's causing people's lives. This other thing is another issue, let's deal with that. Let's deal with these issues, you know, let's deal with them. That's all I have to say.
Totally agree. But let's hold off real quick. We gotta take this short break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Michelle Cannon. and I'm the new host of Second Saturday. Second Saturday is a provocative talk show where we will bring to you a myriad of topics covering music, art, the state of events, current events, politics, industry, anything exciting, interesting, provocative. You're going to find it on Second Saturday.
And we are right back, and we're just going to go right in where we left off real quick. So you wanted to respond to what Victor ended with.
And psychologically, in the barbershop, I've talked to guys, and you know, they'd be like, okay, look, Damon, this is what's going on with me. And whether they disclose or not, we know. We're talking in the barbershop. Or I was upstate with you, I seen you, you was with a guy upstate, and now you're with a young lady. What's the situation here? Psychologically, for him to embrace that he was having sex with a man, then he would have to say, what validates that is him using protection. So he didn't use protection because that would validate him having sex. He wasn't having sex in his mind. In his mind, he just did something. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like someone, they make a differentiation of someone giving you oral sex or you giving them oral sex. Am I doing them or they doing me? I'm not gay if I do that. I'm not a man who slept with a man. This is just something. So it's just another psychological approach to disconnect ourselves from things. And we do that in dating. It's just like if you tell somebody, hey, don't call me after 10 o'clock. Don't call me in the morning. If you tell a young lady that, you're trying to make a little distance. That's all it is. So people do this in their actions. So they're not protecting themselves because that validates a sexual experience.
But it's hurting me.
Yeah.
It's hurting me. Yeah. I mean, I'm you know, I'm the woman that want to be your wife or the mother of your children and what have you, but you're being dishonest and you're affecting my life and you're affecting my future, and I don't even know why. You know,
Who do we go to though?
Huh? And who do we go to?
Okay, just after what you said, which is very good. I'm glad that you did say that. It's enlightened me. And then what you're saying was the correct answer, a question for that. It is, you're going to say, society. So far as the jails are concerned, the jails, they can be made safer. They're purposely, I believe, made to make people to actually suffer. There's no snitch. The guards are having babies with the inmates and all that stuff going on. You know, you have police commissioners talking all this yak about safety and stuff. If you go into the prisons, and most of us are there, coincidentally, right?
We're less of the population.
You put anybody in that kind of survival situation, you don't know what the hell you're gonna do, you know? The thing I'm saying is that what you said about not using the condom, separating it from being an actual act, that makes so much sense. That's human. We do things like that, you're right. And there's no place for them to go when they come out to handle that stuff. So the only way I can see to go to right now is so far as the prison systems, the way it's run and things, that has to change. Is that going to happen? No. I don't think so because they like this.
It's money. It's money.
Yeah.
It's the prison industrial complex. And the reality is, corrections, I can only speak about America. I don't know about other countries.
Right.
In America, prison is not a physical bondage. Prison is psychological, emotional, and spiritual. Yeah. The higher you go in those three levels, the harder prison is. You get 3 hots in a cot. It doesn't matter. You're not going, putting feces in a can.
That's right.
You're not doing it. It's not 30 of y'all within a space. That's not happening in America. It's just not happening. Now, we have to be careful, especially as black men, as black people in our community, how soft we want to make a prison. Because we already, unfortunately, most of us see it as a righteous passage in our community. I'm going to prison.
I heard this quote just to say real quick. Somebody said, I'd rather do Fed time than jail time. I was like, why would you want to do that?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or good jail.
Yeah.
I'm an executive director of a program that helps individuals that come home from prison. I am against making prisons better. Why? Prison is supposed to be a traumatic experience. When you go there, you learn.
Not to do it again.
For me, 10 years, the last 18 months of my prison stint, I was in a minimum security prison. I slept without a mattress.
Oh, wow.
Because I needed my body to remember this is not where to go. They wrote me up. The prison industrial complex wrote me up, gave me a citation to say, what are you doing? I had to tell the lieutenant, I did this for me. I'm not trying to escape. I wanted to sleep on an iron slab so I can remember, because I know we make it easy for ourselves. We make it easy, and the easier you make prison, as you said, who's in there? Just us. So how easy do you want to make it for other individuals, smart people, to make money off of us?
It's the number one talk.
So it's a catch-22. Do you give condoms in prison? Are they having sex? Yes, but do you give condoms?
Bring prostitutes.
When do you say, I'm not allowed to do that? It's happening, but I'm not allowed to do it. So is our situation is that we have to be more informed. Our people are being destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
More informed in what? More informed how?
More informed on our approach, not only to sexuality, but our approach to how do we heal our community? How will we play a part in that? So much of us, we just do not play a part in that. That's not my issue. I don't talk about it. I know too many people that have family members in prison, but don't talk about the prison issue.
Right.
Right, and that I don't understand. Not even, I don't think you're in prison to be programmed to start having sex with other men. That I don't know. I don't think I don't think you're programmed for that. I think I think that's a it's an issue. And the reason why I say that is because this is not just happening from men that has been in prison. This is guys are out here now that are doctors and lawyers and cops and whomever that are sitting that are living with women and what have you and living down lives. Yes, it's a source, but it's not. I don't think Yes, you can easily say, oh, I only slept with a man when I was in jail. You gotta understand that. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say that. It shouldn't be, but it's easy to say that versus the guy that, has dental offices all up and down Fifth Avenue, but his wife doesn't even know that every Thursday poker night is literally poker night.
We're putting everybody in the same category.
No, we're not. We're putting on the category of that guy, that man who is choosing not to be honest about what he is and who he is doing.
We're putting them all in the same category. People get to that place where they make the choice of dishonesty, right, to save themselves. But how did they get there? It's different. The people from prison, they're in an environment that's created by society and that's perpetuated by the guards and everything with this hush-hush thing. That's one thing. Then you have men who don't know, let's say they were brought up, they're ambivalent. They don't know who they are or what they are, right? You have that. Then you have people out there who just say, hell, I just want to do everything I can. I don't care if it's a cow. You have different,
leave the cows alone. No, leave the cows alone. Leave the cows.
Let's talk about our farmers.
Don't eat that.
Bessie.
So the whole, literally. Hey, Bessie's been abused. So all I'm saying is that when you look at this, I'm saying we have human beings that are doing similar things, but the cause of this effect, they're all different. So you need to have psychological, spiritual, emotional
and
understanding of this. Not acceptance, acceptance in the sense of realizing that there's a problem.
Individual acceptance.
And then come to terms with it. And so if you come to the terms of, you know what, damn, I like Bill. Sally can go to hell.
That's right.
All right, do it.
Do it, yeah.
But don't bet me
exactly. So what I'm saying, there needs to be an educational system, the education in the sense of spiritually, physically, emotionally, to let people to just be free and understand, and then talk about a relationship. So young ladies out there, if you just meeting a person, my name is Dion, man, I just came from prison. Okay, fine, nothing wrong with that, but like, Dion, did you go to see Dr. So-and-so, something like me? Are you okay with those numbers? Mm-hmm. I think there should be something that people go through first, so that they can make an understanding. That's my answer. Have a system set up. You come out of jail, you just come out of whatever, go there, discuss your psychological problems, stuff like that, decide what you want to do, go do.
Okay, what if the person's never been to jail and this is what he's doing?
And he's down low.
And he's down lowing.
What you do is when you find that person, you beat the hell out of him. That's what you do. Beat the hell out of him.
No, you don't do that.
No. Dealing with, when we're talking about the down low issue and we're talking about prison, we are talking about social ills that overlap. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, in our community, we kind of have a monopoly on social ills that overlap. Things that just overlap. If you're dealing with a young lady who is just looking for love, that's an issue. If you're dealing with a young man who has never grown up around a man he's shooting from the hip when it comes to manhood, that's the issue. You're dealing with somebody who used prison as a rite of passage, that's an issue.
Regardless if you're in jail, out of jail, and whatever, if you choose to lay with a man, that is a choice. That's not unless you were raped. Unless you were raped, you know, whatever. But you choose. Hey, I've been here 6-7 years. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get a slide nap.
It's a
you know,
choice.
whatever. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Wait. This relativism. Come on. No. Wait a minute. Now.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you this. Okay, we know of earlier this month. This is November. Earlier this month, there was a gospel artist that was exposed, literally exposed on Instagram. Literally, like, dude was on the instrument, camera, looking his eyeball in the camera, and he was, you know, in a homosexual position. Doing the deed. That affects me. You know, because I'm looking at you as a man that I would like to marry, you know, as someone that I, you know, like, and you're being a hypocrite. You're being a liar, and it affects me, and you don't even care.
Yeah.
You don't go back.
You don't even care.
And I, to what I said too, you know, there's a lack of acceptance, there's homophobia, there's, you know, oh, I can't tell them that, so I'm gonna do this behind closed doors until I get caught, and it's like, oh, you know, whatever, XYZ, your excuse. So, you know, instead of preaching, you know, how you, this and that about homosexuals, but, you know, let's take it back to Jesus. He didn't hate people. Jesus loved people. The tax collector, he didn't say you're cheating people. He loved him, and that's when he repented, whatever the issue is, you know. You can't, I don't know. You have your issues, and then you're saying this, and then it takes a tape or whatever, you judging, and then you're doing the same thing.
And you're doing this, I mean, he just straight up, and he wasn't even the one getting it done. He was doing the do. He was the one doing the do. How can I protect myself? How can she protect herself? How can your daughters and nieces
how can
and
I protect myself?
Yeah,
because she's with somebody that's down. How can I protect myself?
It goes around.
Well, oftentimes, what I would like to use is you want for that person what you want for yourself. So if I treat myself with respect and honesty and fairness, when that person, because when I'm saying I feel disrespected when someone asks me, have you ever had a homosexual experience? My first question to them is, have I ever shown you anything that made you believe that I was a homosexual? Because now my insecurities come out.
Yeah.
Did I do something? Did I walk funny? Did I look at my shoes funny? What did I do to make me?
But even then, those questions are stereotypical.
Well, it is.
I'm not offended by that.
Okay, well, we're going to keep this conversation going because, as you see, we have a lot to share. And I hope you decide to have this conversation with men in your life, males in your life, who are open to share their opinion about it. If you have comments or questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're all over social media. Thank you, New York, for watching. Firstly, thanks my guests for being here to share this conversation. Thanks for openly answering these questions and what have you. But again, thank you, New York, for watching. Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Felicia.